Good morning, kindergarten. I'm looking forward to reading our story today because it is all about, remember our essential question, what can we see in the sky? Some of the words that you're going to need during our story this week are space, challenge, distance, surface, and recognize. Remember, touch your nose when you hear those words. Our story this week is called A View from the Moon. And I want you to think to yourself as we read this story, self, what do you see on the moon? All around our planet, people can look up at the sky and see the moon. This glowing ball has always been mysterious, but in 1969, two astronauts traveled far into space and walked on the moon. This helped us solve some of the moon's mysteries. Here on the Earth, we see the moon at night and sometimes during the day. It can look like a round ball, half of a circle, or a thin slice. It's hard to tell how big the moon really is. That's because the distance between the Earth and the moon is so great. The moon looks smaller than a cloud because clouds are closer to us than the moon. And the moon looks bigger than a star because the stars are much further away. What's it like up there on the moon? People asked. The only way to answer this question was to build a spaceship and land it on the moon, and then travel back to Earth. The mission that did this was called Apollo 11. The lucky astronauts were Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins. The astronauts flew two different spaceships to the moon. The main ship, named Columbia, took them to just above the moon and then back to Earth. The actual moon lander was named Eagle. The astronauts trained hard. They studied every part of the ships to prepare for the strange world of space. They also got used to their heavy spacesuits. These suits would protect them from very cold and very hot temperatures on the moon. After liftoff on July 16, 1969, it took the astronauts 3 days to get to the moon. Living on a spaceship was a challenge. There was very little room to move around, and the astronauts ate special dried liquid food. They had to make sure all the tools and instruments were working properly, but it would all be worth it. On July 20th, the Eagle landed on the surface of the moon. Neil Armstrong had the honor of taking the first step. Then the astronauts explored the amazing new land. The astronauts collected moon rocks, took pictures, and planted an American flag. They also practiced walking in their spacesuits. Walking on the moon is fun because people weigh less there. When you jump up, it takes a while to come back down. The surface of the moon is covered in a powdery dust. Like the planet Earth, the moon has different land features. It has mountains, flat parts, and even fields of hot, bubbling liquid called lava. Eagle landed on a smooth area called the Sea of Tranquility. But even the moon's smooth areas have lots of rocky holes called craters. The moon is not nearly as colorful as planet Earth, though. From close up, astronauts on the moon only see gray colors. There's no water there. Seas on the moon are not real seas that have water and waves, and there is absolutely no wind there. If you go to the moon today, you will still see the footprints of every astronaut who walked there. We are all used to seeing Earth from up close, right under our feet. But what does it look like from far away? Neil, Buzz, and Michael got to do something very special. They got to see planet Earth from way out in space. On the surface of the moon, it is very dark. There is no blue sky. The colorful stars shine even brighter. The moon under your feet looks big, and Earth looks very small. Earth is called the blue planet because most of it is covered in ocean. From space, it is easy to see the blue color on Earth. If you look closer at Earth, you recognize the brown shapes of Earth's lands. Rainforests are bright green and deserts are yellow. White clouds swirl above the land, looking at Earth from the moon. Earth looks too small to stand on. You have to remind yourself of all the people who live down there. We've answered many questions about the moon, but there's still a lot to learn. The moon is a fascinating place we can hope to return to one day. What would you do if you lived on the moon? Leave an answer in the comments below.